Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Red Dead Online and we're going to be doing another outfit guide. Today's is going to be Little Joe Cartwright, one of the most popular characters from the TV series Bonanza. So this is a heavily requested video. Lots of people have requested a great many times people from Bonanza, and I've already done one for Big Hoss. So if you want to check that one out, there will be a link in the description for a playlist containing all of my outfit guides, and the one for Hoss will be in there. But yeah, today we're going to be doing Little Joe, his little brother. So like always, we're going to start off with guns, and then I'll show you the outfit, and I'll show you the hair and stuff to do. So you can look just like Little Joe, or at least as close as we can currently make you look like him. So if at any point during the video you find yourself enjoying the video, be sure to click that like button as it helps me out immensely, and will show me that the video is something that you enjoyed, and I'm likely to make more stuff like it in the future. And of course, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or most importantly, any requests, that is a great time to go down to the comment section and leave all of that down there. So with all that in mind, let's dive on in. Hey, but quick before we get into the topic of this video, I just want to do a quick little shout out to the channel Should You Play It. If you're a PC player who loves getting games and loves trying new things but doesn't want to constantly be breaking the bank, then this is the channel for you. The quick action of subscribing and ringing the bell will forevermore allow you to know when new free games are being released on the Epic Games Store. And on top of that, they'll even let you know whether or not they're worth playing. Recently, Epic Games gave away The Hunter Call of the Wild for free. They also gave out Kid Amnesia, a game called Never Alone, and something called Guild of Dungeoneering. Previously, they've given out larger free games such as Grand Theft Auto 5, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Just Cause 4, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, just to name a couple. So go ahead, follow the link that's going to be down in the description over to Should You Play It, subscribe, and you're never going to have to miss a free game on the Epic Games Store again. Alright, so famously throughout the entire series, Little Joe Cartwright was well known to use a quick draw variant Colt single action army revolver with blued steel and an ivory or bone handle. It's hard to tell which type, but it was a white handle of sorts. So to imitate that in the game, we're going to use a cattleman revolver. We're going to give it improved rifling, improved sights, a short barrel. Then we're going to give it the pearl grips, which aren't perfect. I wish we had ivory grips in the game, but we don't. But the pearl grips are the closest as we can come. Then we're not going to carve anything into the grips. We're not going to engrave anything into the gun. And you can go basically 3 different ways for the gun. So I have to assume the gun was blued steel, so initially, when it was first made, it probably looked a lot like this, with a real uniform blued gun steel look to it. That being said, he used the same gun over and over and over again throughout the entire series, so depending on when you're looking at it, it's going to look very different. So I would say that it probably initially looked like this, then throughout the show it probably got slightly lighter and more worn out, and this might be a more accurate look for it, with the all black and steel for the barrel, cylinder frame, hammer, sight, and trigger. And then now, if you look at it in the museum, where it's being kept with all the other Bonanza firearms, it looks a lot more like this, with all of the metal being relatively worn down. And now, of course, I'd say like the barrel and the frame are maybe still the black and steel look, but the cylinder, the hammer, and different parts like the trigger and the trigger guard are a little bit more wore off. But I think the best way to go is the original look. So if we're going for that look, we're going to be, like I said, pearl grips, all blued steel. And I think that's the best way to go to imitate Little Joe's gun from Bonanza. So that is the firearm. Let's move on to the outfit. All right, and so here we have Little Joe's outfit. And I think it turned out pretty dang good. There's some small differences that don't match it perfectly, but I think for the most part, this outfit looks great. So let's go through the items that make it up one at a time. So starting us off, we have the gambler's hat. And now this is the only real big problem with the outfit. So his hat in the show is almost exactly like gambler's hat. Like, this hat looks perfect for his hat. It's got about the right size, it looks about the same, it sits about the same on the head, it's perfect. The only problem is we don't have a color that matches his real great. So the one that I decided to go with is this darker brown one, even though the one he wears in the show is a light beige. So it's definitely a much lighter hat, but this hat, out of all the color options that we have, seems to go the best with the rest of the outfit, which is why I did it. So I chose to coordinate. If you want to try being as close as possible, then perhaps this light gray one is probably the best option. It's quite a bit dirtier and stuff, but it is lighter. So if you're trying to do that, then I think it would work, but it's in a different color scheme. So even the brown, even though it's much darker, it's in the same family of colors as beige. It's just a much darker one, whereas this is a whole different shade. So I think the brown one works better, but either way, one of these gambler's hats is going to be the best way to go because it does look like his hat from the show. So that's the hat. Then for the coat, we have the Finley jacket, and we're going to be using this green variant. Now, Little Joe famously, throughout almost every single time he appears on screen in Bonanza, he's wearing a green jacket. And it actually looks almost identical to the jacket that Django wears in Django Unchained. In fact, their outfits are very similar in a lot of ways, so I'm assuming that was an homage. But This jacket is pretty dang close to looking like it. It's a shorter jacket that ends at above like a high-waisted jacket, so it's about the same style. He wears his buttoned up, at least partially. His is open a little bit more than this, but it's, you know, buttoned up. The sleeves and the, I guess what you call that up on the shoulders there, on this jacket, they do have some black leather and stuff, which makes it less accurate because his in the show is just solid green all the way through. But other than that, this jacket looks pretty much perfect. It sits about the same way, the collar's folded down the same way, it's the same height, so I think it works for a lot of reasons. So that's why we're using the Finley jacket for our coat. Then for the shirt, we're going to be using this red striped variant of the everyday shirt. And now in the show, he wears what appears to be like a real light pinkish red shirt. It could almost be brown with just a slight red tint to it. It's kind of hard to tell, you know, because it's so washed out because it's an older show. But I think this shirt matches the color of his the best. Now his doesn't have stripes on it, but you can't really see the stripes all that much when you're wearing it with the jacket. And I think the color matches it the best, and that's really what I wanted to try hitting the most with it, was the color. So that's why I decided to go with this shirt. I guess most shirts would work because there's some variation in the shirt he wears. It's just different in some episodes, which makes sense given that he wouldn't wear the exact same shirt every day of his life. So if you just went with a off-white or a beige, a real light brown, and maybe even a light gray, it would probably all look fine, but I think this red one looks the most like his iconic outfit that you can find when you look up pictures of Little Joe. But yeah, so the everyday shirt like this, and I popped open the collar because his collar is always open in the show. So that's the shirt. Then for the gun belt, we're going to be using the darker brown variant of the sharpshooter gun belt. It has a little bit more design to it than his does from the show, and it's a little bit thinner, but it's about the right color, and it looks pretty similar. I think it matches it pretty dang well. And of course it looks great with the outfit, so it works on two levels. So that is the gun belt that I went with. For the pants, Little Joe pretty typically wears either a real grayish beige or gray pair of pants, and they're usually decently clean. So I went with the gray clerk pants. I think they match the style of the pants that he wears very well from the show, and they match the color pretty dang well. And they also, again, look great with the outfit. So those are the pants I went with. Most of your gray variants of pants could work. I think there's a gray variant of the studded pants, the bandito pants, possibly the padded saddle work pants. Any of them that aren't too big and baggy are going to look fine. Now, he doesn't wear baggy pants, so they do have to be a skinnier, what would be typical of like a boot gut jean nowadays. That's what you're going to want to be looking for, because you want to make the legs look thinner, because that's kind of the whole, his character's whole thing was being this smaller guy. So yeah, these pants I think are the best, are the gray clerk pants. Then for the boots, we're just going to be using the Warren Roper's boots, and we're going to tuck them into the pants, but we're going to be using these the kind of lighter brown but not wore out variant of them, the 8 out of 10 variant of the Warren Roper's boots. Again, any plain brown cowboy boots will work fine, but I think these ones are perfect. So if you can, I would definitely recommend using these ones. And that is Little Joe. So like I said, this one turned out great. It looks almost exactly like him. There's very few things that I would say aren't perfect, and it's really just the hat is just a little bit too dark. If that was just a little bit lighter, it would be perfect. And the jacket itself it looks great, and it looks almost exactly like the one he wears. It's just got a little bit more stuff on it than his does. His was a little bit more vivid green, and it didn't have any of the black on it, so it would have just been one solid color. So other than that, this matches pretty much perfectly. And if you pair your Colt Single Action Army or your Cattleman Revolver, short barrel, pearl grip, and all blued steel or all black and steel, it's going to match his gun well enough that you look just like Little Joe. So that is the outfit. So for the hair, we're going to be going with the neat left parted hairstyle, and I chose to use a darker brown because that's the color that he has in the show. It's kind of like between a dark brown and a black look to it. So I used the number 6 darker brown hair color for this style. I think the style matches it pretty dang well and looks great. For the facial hair, we're going to be clean shaven because he doesn't have any facial hair, and we're not even going to include any stubble because he's pretty much always stubble free in the show. The idea being that he was supposed to look quite a bit younger than all the other characters. So that is the hair and facial hair for Little Joe. Well, that's where we're going to end today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you're a Bonanza fan and you've been one of the people that requested this, or if you've just been waiting for another Bonanza outfit, I hope this was worth the wait. Like I said, I've already done Hoss, so if you want to check that out, it'll be linked in the description in that playlist that I said, like I said, has all of my outfits in it. If you liked it, definitely leave a like on it. If you've got any comments, questions, concerns, or any suggestions, recommendations, requests, definitely leave those in the comment section. And of course, if you like this content and haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so now. And of course, ring that bell so you can stay up to date on everything I release all the time, which is pretty dang frequently, and it's all pretty consistent, so if you like this, you'll probably like that. So with all that in mind, thanks a ton for watching the video, especially if you made it all the way to the end, because I definitely appreciate that. But we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.